אז מצטרף לנו כרגע מבלגיה, חבר הפרלמנט מטעם מפלגת הימין מרכז הברית הפלמית, מיכאל פרייליך, שהוא גם חבר הפרלמנט היהודי הדתי הראשון בבלגיה. אז good evening, Michael, how are you? We're very glad to have you here in our program one day before Shabbos, so thank you very much. And can you tell us what the situation of the Jewish community in Belgium in these days?
Belgium has a different Jewish community for Brussels and for Antwerp. And it's the Brussels Jewish community is quite secular, not religious. And the Antwerp Jewish community is more a religious community of 20,000 people. We have 45 synagogues. We have 10 Jewish schools. So it's very different. We have a lot of kosher food, kosher restaurants in Antwerp. In Brussels, you will have a hard time to find any kosher food. And the community is, of course, adapting since the 7th of October, like the rest of Europe, with a lot of hatred, anti-Semitism coming from many different places, anti-Zionism. But at the end of the day, you know, we do feel the pressure. We do feel the heat.
Yeah, you know, I visited Antwerp in 10 years ago, and I saw part of the Jewish told me, we have a good relation with the Muslims. It's not so, they're not so radical. But in Antwerp, I found out a radical cells of Islam and Sharia. People from Antwerp went to the Islamic State in ISIS and supported the killing Jews and beheaded the people there. How you can live with those communities side by side?
Well, indeed, a lot has changed in the last 10 years. I mean, Belgium had the record, the unfortunate record to send most foreign fighters for ISIS at the time. We had a Sharia for Belgium, an organization. Luckily, the police and the government intervened, but that was only after the terrorist attack on the airport, and the organization was banned, and the leader was sent to jail for 20 years. So I think it's important to note that, yes, steps were taken, and there's still a lot that has to be done. But I think, and I compare it often to Israel. Israel is 20% Muslims. I mean, I was in Israel just last week with my family. We went to Eilat. Everywhere we saw a very nice multicultural society of Jews, Muslims, everyone working together. At the end of the day, in Israel, it's the same. You have a portion of your population that is very anti-Israel and that is also radicalized. But I do still hope to believe that most Muslims do want to work together with us. And I see it also in practice, because when we have elections, parties like the Party of Islam and Diab Abu Jaja from the Hind Rajab Foundation,
but you know, look what happened with the anti-Semitic crimes against Jews. How the Jews feel going in the street today? I don't think they feel security.
Well, it depends. I mean, I live in Antwerp. I am more scared of my kids that something will happen to them in traffic than that chas v'chalila something will happen with them by a terrorist attack. I grew up in Antwerp as a child. I was used to having security. We have 65 police officers that protect us. Luckily, in the last 10 years since that attack on the Jewish Museum in Brussels, there has been no serious physical assault on the Jewish community. Every once in a while, you hear of someone that gets pushed, but it's much less dangerous than in England, for example. I have an older son, lives in London. In Stamford Hill, every few weeks, there are people who get beaten up. In Paris, you can't go with a kippah. In Antwerp, you can go with a kippah. We have Hasidim. So the problem, of course, is not, I'm not saying there is no problems, but we have to not exaggerate it as well. There is issues, and we're working on it. It's not a black and white situation.
Ohad, want to ask a question. I'm very happy to hear that your situation is very good. Please, Ohad.
I didn't say it's very good. It's important to note. I'm sorry, I want to intervene.
It's good. It's good.
And we need to be alert, okay? But it's not, and the thing is, as a foreigner, whenever I go to Israel, people tell me in Belgium, are you crazy? You're going to Israel? There's bombs everywhere. And I told them, it's not so bad. And in Israel, it's the other way around. They tell me, how can you go on the street in Belgium? And I tell them, well, come visit Antwerp and you will see yourself how the community is living.
Ohad, please.
Thank you so much for your time with us, and it's great to meet you. Again, I wanted to ask, there were a few problems with Hamas operating in Belgium. We have Paul van Tichelt, who said 2 years ago that Hamas is operating, but you can't do anything about it. You have Massar Badil and Mohammed Khatib. I wanted to ask, what is the policy of this new government? Is there a new policy? Is there anything that you can do or legally with the problem of not just anti-Semitism, not just a Jewish problem, it's also a problem for Belgium.
So I can tell you there's a new government that is today 11 months in power. It's a party that's center-right and center-left parties together. We actually, for the first time, put in the government agreement that we want to ban organizations such as sommigen, such as Masar Badil, that actually import the conflict. Unfortunately, just a bit the same thing as you have in Israel with the High Court. It is always difficult because the courts want to intervene, and the courts are saying it's not up to the executive branch or to the ministers to ban organizations. It's always up to a court to ban organizations. So there is this tug of war, this fighting on one hand between us, the politicians, who want to put various boundaries on all of these street protests. And on the other hand, you have the courts who say there's freedom of expression and a bar to prove that someone is actually not just coming out for a Palestinian state, which officially they're allowed to do, but is actually supporting Hamas. That must be very clear and proven in front of a court. So it's a daily fight. It's not simple. And I'm pleading within my party, within my group, to put more funds, more money in police, in secret service, in finding these networks, unraveling these networks, so that when we do come to a court, then we can have solid evidence. Yeah. And I also say that for that, we need support of Israel. Israel is a very strong intelligence, and Israel needs to assist us and give us information. Mm-hmm. You know, this case from this Mohammed Al-Khatib, this person who on the 7th of October put on his Facebook on the border between Israel and Gaza. Well, I went to the Israelis and I said, is he a member of Hamas? Do you know where his cell phone was on the 7th of October? Because a lot of countries, or a lot of places, when you see that there's a terrorist, you know, he crossed the border, he went to these places like Kfar Aza. The answer was, we didn't really receive the necessary assistance from Israel that this guy was involved with a terrorist, and then we can't use it in a court also not. So I'm telling you, please, the Israelis, give us what we need to fight the fight together.
Okay, Michael Freilich, it was very, very, we're happy to meet you, and we wish you good luck in your mission, and בעזרת השם, בשורות טובות שיהיה לך.
Thank you, תודה רבה.
תודה רבה.